Oh, definitely. You can say bye to the camera.
Bye!
Not yet. You're not leaving!
Hello! Well, I can see us in the reflection of your TV. This is like literally perfect.
Hi!
We're back. Mikayla's back. We're back from vacation. We're here to finally do that top 5 book review video that my friend Ariana asked 4 weeks ago.
That's what I was gonna say.
And then we've been talking about.
Asked for it. Laura asked too.
We have friends who asked.
So lots of people asked for this, so this is where we are. And if I recommend you these books and you don't fucking read them, people who asked for this, Laura. If we recommend you these books, you asked for this, and now you gotta go read them. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna do like top 5 books or like book series
yeah.
that are the best and that we like the most. And then we'll just talk about them a little bit.
Do you want to go first?
Nope, I don't.
I really enjoy fantasy books. I have always really liked elements of magic and really out there stuff that some of my friends definitely don't like because they're like, I really like reality and I really enjoyed this stuff, and they're talking about Mikayla's Mr. Mystic. I think my first series that I want to talk about is going to have to be the Inheritance series by Christopher Paolini. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But it's the Aragon, Eldest, Brisingar, and Inheritance books. And so they're basically about this land called Allegazia. And so
I thought you were going to say alligator, and I was like, cool.
They have a lot of magical creatures there, so they have elves and dwarves and humans, and they all used to live together with dragons, and then the elves and the dragons were the first big clique, and they went through wars for the longest time where they were killing each other, and then if one of them finally met a human, and the human kind of raised it, and they became the first dragon and dragon rider. So as a bond for their peoples, they had specific eggs that were given up every year from the dragons that were given to the elves. And then these dragons find the one person that they can bond with, and if they don't find this person, they stay in their egg forever and the baby isn't harmed. And so thousands of years after this happened, other dragon riders rose up against the ones that were there and wiped them out. So there's only one guy left, and he's super evil, and he's basically the dictator of this entire land. And so this farm boy off in the middle of God knows where, one night an egg, a stone, a strange stone appears before him, and it ends up hatching into a dragon. And he's the first rider outside of this guy for at least a century. And so the Inheritance series basically follows him and his dragon Saphira, and how they evolve and how they come to save this world. And it's a very good series. It's very intricate. All of the characters are A+. This guy wrote it when he was 17, and I will never do anything that good ever. The book series is one of the best things I've ever read in my entire life, and I will probably continue to read it until I die. So that is my first recommendation.
Dedication, that's what that is. I guess my first book series, everyone can probably take a big old guess what this is going to be, because I never shut up about this book series ever. But it is Six of Crows, and it's the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo, and it's Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom is the second book. These books are about, they're really hard to explain unless you've read them, I swear. But this group of 6 they're genuinely kids, go on this really grand adventure. They live in the slums. Basically, they live in this place called Ketterdam, and they're part of a gang, I guess, kind of. And so there's Kaz, who is the leader of everything, Inej, Nina, Jesper, Wylan, and Mateus. And so basically they all come together through many different ways, and they all have to go into this big, it's an ice fortress, and it's basically, you can't, no one can ever get into this place. It's almost impossible to get into. But Kaz is this 17-year-old kid. He's in charge of this gang called the Dregs, and he's the most intelligent, vile, ruthless guy ever, according to the rumors. And so these rich people are we need you to get into the ice fortress palace thing, and we need you to get a serum that's been floating around because if it gets into the wrong hands, you know, war could break out. And so basically, they're like, if anyone can do it, it can be Kaz, and I want you to get a group of people together, and then we'll pay you when it's all done. And then the whole book series just basically follows this entire them getting to the fortress, getting all the people together, like, doing what they do. I'm not going to spoil anything, but all the characters are good. Everything about it is amazing. I have people who have read it who didn't like it, and that's fine. But I personally think it is like one of the best books I've ever read. Like, the adventure is crazy. The way it's written is really good. Leigh Bardugo is amazing, and it might be turned into a movie, and I'm so excited. So definitely check those books out. It'll only benefit you in the end.
I guess my second book series, I'm gonna go with another fantasy series. So this is also about dragons. So if you haven't read the Eon and Eona books by Alison Goodman, do you need to pause so we can talk about this? Because it's fine.
No.
She just wants me to open the window.
So open the window.
Continue.
Okay, so if you haven't read the Eon and Eona saga by Alison Goodman, please go do that. It is such an amazing series. It's got to do with the mythology of the 12 dragons the 12 animals of the Chinese Zodiac. And so in this ancient Chinese type world, basically the animals are each represented by the dragon, and their emperor has this pearl sewn into his throat, like the dragons all have it's a long story, but it all makes sense. When an emperor dies, he basically transfers the pearl to the new emperor, and so he has it sewn into his throat because all of the dragons have their pearl of wisdom in their throat. And so across this kingdom, Laura cannot handle the idea of having a pearl sewn in her throat. Within this system, there are 12 dragon masters. So each dragon has a master, and each dragon master has an apprentice who learns for the 12 years of the Zodiac. Okay, an easier way to explain this is on the year of that dragon. The master retires, and then a new apprentice comes up, and then they have this big ceremony to figure out who the next apprentice is going to be, and then they study for 12 years, and then on the next thing, the next time it's the rat dragon's year again, they recycle. And so with this book, this it's only allowed for boys. The dragon, the mirror dragon, or the dragon, because it's the dragon on the, and she's it's disappeared. They don't know where it is. It's been gone for a very long time, and so on the year of the rat dragon, there's this one girl who is pretending to be a boy because she has spirit sight, and she's got the best they've ever seen. And so her master breaks her hip and stuff and sneaks her into this competition and
move on.
Do you want to get your thought out? Because I can't do anything.
It's move on.
Her master basically breaks her hip and sneaks her into this all of this training stuff to get her in there. And then during the
Look at me.
Continue. Ignore her.
Okay. But so this girl is during the it's not really a competition, but it's a trial day. The rat dragon basically comes forward and picks the apprentice that he wants to have serve him. And so he doesn't pick her. But then all of a sudden all of the dragons in the circle just kind of bow and get down, and they get really confused, and then this gigantic red dragon comes out of nowhere and picks the girl, whose name is Iana. And so she ends up being picked by the red dragon. So the entire thing is her journey through this corrupt system of government, and her trying to save different people and figure out who the dragon is, how she can reach her powers, how she can work with her dragon and become the master she needs to be in order to save her country, because some of the masters are plotting against everything. And it's a very good book, very good characters, strong female lead, which is amazing. It's just really, really good.
My second book series, I guess we'll continue with the series. I read this. The thing about this series is my mom bought me these books my mom bought me the first book. The series is called the Throne of Glass series, and I know a lot of people have a lot of different qualms about this. I've been on Goodreads, and so many people are here, and some people are here. It's all over the place, but so it's the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. There's 2 A's in her name. I don't know how to say it. So basically, it follows this girl named Selena Sardothian, and she is basically she's a girl, and she is the best assassin she's the best assassin to come out of her town in a really long time. And she's been through hell and back. And so, I don't know how to explain this without giving anything away.
You've done it for me before. I believe in you.
So basically she's this assassin, and she's come out of the woodwork. She grew up with in a realm of assassins since she was 5 or 6, I think. She was really, really young. And her parents died, and she saw she didn't see her parents, but she woke up in a pool of her parents' blood. Yeah, it's intense. It's like Dexter, but with a girl. And so she does that, and then she grows up, and she becomes this amazing assassin, best spy. No one can ever catch her. Nobody knows how to. And then suddenly she gets caught, but it was a setup that she was caught. And nobody really knows who set her up, but throughout the book it kind of gets a little bit more clear. And then they break her out of, they don't break her out, but suddenly she's let out of this prison that she's in, which is the worst place you could ever be. And basically she's come, and the king of the realm is basically holding a contest, and she's part of this contest, and so he wants someone to be an assassin that's on his side, a spy, an assassin, someone who can do all of it to spy on the other places around. And so Selena, in the first book, basically it's just all about this competition, and then throughout the book you find out more and more about Selena's past, and more people are introduced, and it's I'm not doing a very good job of explaining this, and it probably sounds really boring, but
it sounds really good.
It's very interesting. The first book, especially if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, that's why my mom bought it, 'cause she was the bookstore girl was it's kind of like Game of Thrones. And I love Game of Thrones, and I did actually really like the first book. And so as it goes on, I bought all the rest of them. I have all of them now. And I will say that the second book is less interesting. The third book is even less interesting. But then the fourth book saved the series, okay? Put me back on the horse. I'm back. The fifth book, blew my mind. I haven't read the fifth one called Tower of Dawn yet, but I'm going to, and I am so excited. There's also, a prequel called The Assassin's Blade that is sitting right there. And I haven't read that yet either, but it's basically the backstory of Selena's life and, all the stuff she went through before she got caught. So I'm really excited to read that, and it's a really good book, and it's a really good book series. It doesn't take too long to read. I read it pretty fast, but also I was just really into it. And, yeah, you should read it. I think I gave it overall it probably has somewhere 3.754 stars on Goodreads if you accumulate it all together for me. So you should definitely check it out. It's definitely one of my favorite book series. And the covers are beautiful, I must say. Everyone is just incredible. So
the third series that I would have to recommend is the Percy Jackson series. So
Laura
it's
agrees.
a very, very popular series, and if you haven't read it by now, I'd be very surprised. But every book that Rick Riordan puts out, I fall in love with. I have not read a book by him that I do not like yet. I get such a huge boner for Greek mythology and stuff. So when he put those books out, I was I'm here for this. I want it. I read them. I loved it. They have amazing characters. They have beautiful there's a beautiful structure to it. There's oh my god, I just can't even, because I love it so much. It's just so everything makes sense, and everything works together. There are different adventures every single book, but in the end they all come together to have one big picture, and it's just very riveting. And even though they're meant for youngins, I still recommend them. I think they're very good books. I have just about all of them. Rick Riordan has never done a thing that I didn't love, so I recommend those books.
I've never read them. So yikes.
I
I didn't watch the movies either.
But I'm surprised at you, because you were oh, I really like Greek mythology.
I just didn't pick them up.
They're very good books. I loved them a lot.
I was a Geronimo Stilton fan when I was a child. Loved that
Well,
little mouse.
We're talking way past Geronimo Stilton, dude.
Not that far past Geronimo Stilton.
Quick PSA from post-editing Mikayla. I did some research, and the Percy Jackson series was written in 2005. And Geronimo Stilton was still being made in 2005. The earliest date that I can find for Geronimo Stilton is somewhere in the 1900s, probably, I believe 2 years after we were born. But anyways, so when I say that I was reading Geronimo Stilton as a kid, yes, Percy Jackson was in the time. It just wasn't where I was at. I didn't, you know what, it's fine. It's fine. I'm a bitch and just wanted to let y'all know that I was right.
I think I started reading them when he was first putting them out. Like, I remember getting the last book in the first series when it came out. Ah!
Next book, I guess, for me is the Darker Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab or Victoria Schwab. I had not just started reading them. I started reading them in the summer, but I literally just finished, like, a week ago. I just finished A Gathering of Shadows, and boy. Oh, there's, what's the first one called? A Darker Shade of Magic, Gathering of Shadows, and then A Conjuring of Light. And so basically this follows a wizard, kind of. Basically there's 3 different Londons. There's Red London, Grey London, and White London. And each of these Londons have their own amount of magic. Red London has the most. White London White London has the second, like they have enough, but not as much as Red London, and then Grey London has, like, basically none. And so there are only 2 people, there's only 2 people in the world that can travel between the Londons, and they are called the Antari, and they are Kel and someone else I don't remember the name of. And so they are the only 2 people that can travel between the Londons. And so basically Kel, he lives in the palace with, like, the king and the queen, and he's, like, adopted. He was adopted by them, and he's got a brother named Rye who doesn't have any magic at all. And basically it follows Kel on this adventure. He goes to Grey London. He's a smuggler. He kind of smuggles things back into Red London sometimes, even though you're not supposed to. And so someone, like, tracks him down and is like, oh, can you, like, take this back? I have, like, this is for you. I'm giving you this as a gift. And it's, like, this black stone. And there is another London. It's called Black London. But basically what happened in Black London is that there was so much magic that it just overtook everybody and basically drained them all. And basically the magic just killed everyone in Black London. And no one really talks about it anymore. And so there's this black stone that Kel, like, someone's like, oh, here, this is for you. And so he smuggles it back into his London, which is Red London. And suddenly all of this, like, a bunch of stuff starts going down. And so he's struggling with all that, and then he runs into this girl named Delilah is her name, Delilah Bard, and she is a stealer, she's a thief, she's running the streets, living her life, doing what she can. And so her and Kel cross paths, and basically from there they have to go on this, like, wild adventure, and they both figure out a lot of things about each other. There's love, there's romance, there's action, there's death, there's everything. There's gays, there's everything you could ever want in a book series. And I am telling you, the first book had me swept off my feet, like, couldn't breathe, had to put that book down for, like, 5 minutes and just take a second, and then I had to go get the next book, and I just finished it, and then, like, I had to, like, take a breath, and now I need the 3rd book because I'm telling you to read them. My friend Sabrina, if she watches this, will agree with me. These are her favorite books. The author is amazing. I have another one of her books sitting right there. It's called This Savage Song, and it's supposed to be really good, but I haven't read it yet. But I trust this author, and the book series, like the Dark Shade Magic book series, there's, like, a script being made. This is another book series that might become a movie, and boy, get on this train because you deserve it. Treat yourself.
I need to get on this train because, like, she's talked about it a lot and it sounds really good, but I never have time to read because I've been down a rabbit hole of video games, so.
Laura just doesn't make time to read. She's fake.
I have so much schoolwork.
Now I'm going to be going to individual books. The first one is Troy by Adele Garras. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but that's what I'm going to do. It's a fictional book about Troy during the war, and it follows these 2 sisters, one of which is the handmaiden.
What?
To Helen.
I need to go to class soon.
Go now.
It's only 3
Get out of my room.
3:39.
3 times? Yeah? Is it that time? Let's continue.
So it's about these two sisters living in the city of Troy. Their parents died when they were little, so one of them is the handmaid to Helen, and she's kind of special. She can see like the Greek gods. So like different gods will appear to her and different gods will like talk to her. Like she sees Aphrodite a lot. And the other sister works in one of the temples and is a healer. So she like she's not like a magical healer. She just works and like helps with a lot of the older like medicine women in the town, and like whenever they bring back injured soldiers, they like try to like repair them and give them poultices to like clean out their wounds and whatever. And so throughout this entire series, like while Troy is on the brink of falling apart, Aphrodite decides to mess with them and makes them fall in love with the same boy. But that boy loves the one who's the handmaiden to Helen. So she just like basically rips up their sisterhood, and then they end up like becoming sisters again with the end of Troy. And the book ends with like, obviously like you know what's going to happen to Troy, like the siege happens and like, but the entire book basically follows these two sisters while they're inside the walls of Troy, versus like most of the time we get the perspective from outside of them with like Achilles. It's just like an interesting perspective about two sisters on the inside the walls of Troy, and I just like, it's very good. The characters are good. The love triangle is relatable as hell, and the gods are all portrayed like very well. So like when they do make appearances, it's very good, and it's a very good book, and it's not that long.
The next book, this is a book that a lot of people have not read, because I swear to God, like nobody talks about this book. I don't think anybody even knows who this like author is, but the author is Ryan Groden. I don't really know how to say her name. But she wrote a book that I bought, and like, oh, I don't even know, I want to say like 2012 I bought the book, called The Walled City, and I absolutely adored it. Thought it was like the best book I've ever read. It's not, but it's definitely up there in like my favorite books. And then I found out that she did more books, and so I went and bought Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groden, I don't really know. This book is about a girl, so basically it takes place after World War II. So it's after World War II. Instead of Hitler losing, Hitler won. And so this takes place after World War II, and Hitler is basically in power. He is in charge of everything. And this girl named Yael, the Third Reich and Imperial Japan are in power right now. And so basically there's a group of rebels. I don't know why I'm like sitting up and like talking to the camera, but like I love this book. So it's like a group of rebels, and basically they hate Hitler and everything that he stands for, and he's hurt all these people in the past. And so what are they called? So she was a death camp prisoner, and she survived. She got out, and so, but like her family didn't. And so basically, the Third Reich and Imperial Japan, every year they hold an Axis tour, which basically is a motorcycle tour, like motorcycle race competition kind of thing, that goes all around Germany, I want to say. People from all over can come. So there's like Japanese, there's people from Germany, there's people from Canada, people from like, or not Canada, but like North America, there's Brits, there's like everyone can participate in this. And if you win, you get to go to the Victories Ball and like celebrate with Hitler and like all the rulers. So basically this group of rebels is basically saying there's only been one girl in history who's ever won the Axis tour, and Yael has trained for her whole life for this. And so this rebel group, they kidnap the one winner, because the previous winner always comes back. This is like an anniversary one, so like every previous winner is like coming back to race again. So Yael has trained her whole life for this, and basically they kidnap the only female that's ever won the Axis tour, put Yael in her place, and basically they're telling her you have to win the Axis tour so you can get to the Victory Ball and kill Hitler. That is their goal, because who doesn't want to kill Hitler? And so it's just a story about this. It's literally just a story about this entire motorcycle race and how Yael like gets away with what she's done, and how everybody, and like she goes through and meets all of the different competitors and stuff. And it gets it makes you think a little bit about what like life would really be like if Hitler actually did win the war, and like how that would just, the world would be so different. And it's so interesting because like the girl, like Yael, is so powerful, so amazing in this book. The way it's written is so good. Like I will say that like the first half of the book really didn't have me like by the balls, but as soon as like the voice picked up, I was like, okay, I can't put this down. Like I have to know what's happening. The characters are so, like, they're kind of assholes, but like you also kind of like learn to love them, and so much happens. You get to learn all about Yael's like past, what happened to her in the death camps and stuff. So it's just interesting. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's really, 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 really good. The first one's called Wolf by Wolf, and the second one is called Blood for Blood. And I have not read Blood for Blood, so I can't recommend it, but I will recommend Wolf for Wolf because I dug that book hardcore. So.
That's it for this video, I think. Hopefully we can wrap this up really quick because my camera is dying still. Now you have 10 books and or book series to go read, so you guys should be set for a while. If you have any ideas for any videos that you want us to do, let us know in the future. We should have some more interesting stuff coming out. Like we're gonna film some more today. Hopefully we can get out some more videos for you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you like the channel. Turn on the notifications if you love us.
We have 3 subscribers. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff that you have to do. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be back sometime. Don't forget to dab on your haters and live your best life. And we will see you in our next video. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. The camera's still recording.
Yeah.
Bye.